What's up, everybody? It's Dave for Napier, and welcome to the NPL's Week 4 Game of the Week. Today I have a special co-host with me because Beige couldn't come. Introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, guys? I am Richard Arisen, and I am the coach of the Oakland Rose Raiders, formerly in the majors, but now in the minors, and I will be the guest analyst for today.
Okay, well, we're happy to have you. So, let's get right into the match. We have the two Phoenix teams facing up: the Phoenix Sunflora and the Phoenix Sunkern. The Phoenix Sunflora coached by this Phoenix Sunflora coached by Rizzy Pow, and the Sunkern coached by Cheeseboy628. So, looking at the team matchup, we see Rizzy Pow brought a pretty offensive team and two strong walls like Amoongus and the Diancie. And Cheeseboy brought likewise a pretty offensive team with just a couple of walls just in case anything threatening came up. So looking at the team matchup, Richard, what do you think would be each player's best leads?
See, I don't really. It tends to be a good lead in a lot of matches for the reason because it outspeeds a lot of things. It can U-turn, it can pivot, and it has regenerator. So if it does end up taking a hit, then it can always just U-turn out, get momentum, and get its health back. So that seems like a pretty good lead. I think Scolipede could have also been a pretty good lead for Riz. If it was some sort of a spikes lead. And on Cheeseboy's side, likewise, I think perhaps Klefki could have been a good lead for setting up any kind of field things. I don't know what to describe them as. I think, does it get spikes? I think it gets spikes, and I think it also gets stuff like light screen, and so it could have set up that. And
So a support Pokemon.
yeah. So a good support Pokemon to start with. But also he does have those offensive threats to start with as well. So it really just is going to come down to who predicts whose lead and what they decide to do with it.
Okay, well, getting right into it. So, Rizzy Pow's going to lead up with Tornadus, as Cheeseboy's going to lead up with the Sableye. It's going to go for Will-O-Wisp. It's actually going to miss turn 1, as Tornadus is going to go right for the taunt. So that reveals a little bit about Rizzy's set. Cheese is going to switch into Klefki, as Rizzy misses a Hurricane. That's not very effective, so it wouldn't have done much. But, yeah, misses for misses. The Klefki goes for Thunder Wave, but Rizzy predicts that very nicely and goes into Flygon. As then Klefki reveals Magnet Rise, but Rizzy's going to go right for Fire Blast. That was a good play on his part.
That was an excellent set right there. Good foresight to have the Fire Blast on the Flygon and kind of bait out the Klefki and do a big, massive damage to it. I think that did over half, so very nice play on Rizzy's part.
Yeah. We're going to be able to see the Klefki goes for Spikes, as Rizzy Pow actually overpredicts and goes for Draco Meteor, probably expecting the Talonflame to come out. It looks like this Klefki might not have the screens, so that's a sigh of relief for Rizzy, because a Talonflame behind screens is pretty threatening. Klefki's going to safely get up another layer of spikes, as Rizzy's going to reveal that it's a defensive Flygon with Defog. That's a really, really good set by him. Now Talonflame's going to come out. The Fire Blast does nothing, even with a crit. That did nothing. If Rizzy went for a Draco Meteor there, that would have been insane. Now Diancie's going to come in. Talonflame actually went for Protect, which was pretty interesting. Now it can probably get off a safe U-turn. Going into Blastoise, Diancie gets up Rock. Of course, Blastoise probably has Spin. It's a Mega Blastoise, so he can get the Mega Evolution off and go for the Rapid Spin. Diancie does Moonblast. That doesn't do a lot of damage, which probably shows that either this is a very defensive Blastoise or the Diancie is actually very defensive and doesn't have much, if any, special attack EVs. I'm actually pretty surprised that Rizzy decided to stay in with the Diancie, because Blastoise could have gone for Scald or even Hydro Pump, and that would have probably blown it away. That should be an indicator for Cheeseboy that Diance's probably specially defensive and that Rizzy knew he could most likely take a hit. So at turn 11, we're going to be seeing a switch from Rizzy, probably not wanting to take a water type attack, because Cheese has no reason to not go for it. He doesn't get the burn with Scald, but now Kyurem Black comes in, a huge threat, and this thing looks like it just gets a safe Ice Beam or even an Earth Power off, but he decides to go for Iron Head, predicting the Diancie. Bisharp's going to come out, and that gets a free knockoff on any one of his members. Nothing wants to switch into that. Sableye takes a lot of damage, and then Diancie comes in, dodges a Will-O-Wisp, because Will-O-Wisp is Will-O-Wisp.
Will-O-Miss.
Yep. So now we're going to be seeing the Diancie get up Stealth Rocks again, as Cheese is going to go into Blastoise, Rizzy's going to go into Amoonguss. Cheese just makes a safe play in going for Rapid Spin, then switching back into the Kyurem. I assume this Amoonguss doesn't have Spore, but that Foul Play did so much damage.
Oh, yeah.
Klefki's going to come... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. But I just wanted to bring up quickly that you'll see that this is a pretty scout-heavy first half of the match where things are kind of trying to test out the water, see what sets the other person has, trying to get up their hazards and removing the hazards and trying to get hits off on things. And some hits work, like the Fire Blast from Flygon onto the Klefki, but ultimately we're not going to see a Pokemon go down until very, very late in the match, relatively, about halfway through the match, coming up in a few turns here, I think, so.
The Klefki can just eat up a Foul Play and is probably free to get up hazards now, as he will start hazard stacking, forcing the Flygon to defog, as it does turn 21. And then we see the Dazzling Gleam from Klefki. That does a lot, but still doesn't even kill the Flygon, so this is a bulky Flygon, I think. I would assume has HP investment, as he's going to go for Roost. This is a very well made Flygon set as Fire Blast now. It won't kill the Klefki, but it will come pretty close. Dazzling Gleam will finish off the Flygon.
Just wanted to note that the Flygon does have a Life Orb. It did lose some HP on that Fire Blast hit, so despite having some investment in bulk, it is also an offensive Flygon to an extent.
I'm sure Rizzy did a lot of calcs involving Life Orb and how much bulk it should include to try to make the best set, and that Flygon set was pretty. That was interesting, and that was a good set by Riz. That was unexpected, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely.
So now Riz just gonna go into Amoonguss to finish it off with a Foul Play or a Giga Drain, as he actually reveals either Hidden Power Ground or Fire. Cheese still has yet to determine that, but I mean, it's probably not going to get used again in this match. So Diancie's going to come in as Sableye's going to go for Will-O-Wisp. That was probably the only Pokemon that Riz would have allowed to get burnt, as the other members are very crucial in the remaining time of this match. As Dugtrio is now going to be able to come in. Dugtrio has Arena Trap, so Diancie most likely won't switch unless Cheeseboy, I don't know, doesn't have that set. And we've already established it doesn't have Shed Shell. So Earthquake will kill Diancie. As now Riz is going to bring in Tornadus. Going to go for Hurricane, but of course the Dugtrio is most likely going to have a Sash, as it does, and gets up the rocks. If he had Stone Edge there, he probably should have gone for it, because it would have done a huge amount of damage. Even if Tornadus had Regenerator, it still would have done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Scolipede actually has a Focus Sash, it would have been broken by the spikes anyway, so to be fair, I don't really agree with that Stealth Rock play unless the Dugtrio didn't have Stone Edge.
Yeah.
Blastoise is now going to come in. It's Tornadus is going to reveal Grass Knot. It revealed it the turn before, but it's going to go for Grass Knot, of course. That's its most powerful attack, as Blastoise just wants to get rid of the rocks for Kyurem and Talonflame, so he basically just sacks Blastoise to do that. It looked pretty useless the rest of the match, especially with a fat mushroom just chilling in the back. As well as Bisharp and Scolipede most likely going to be able to finish it off. later in the match. If it had like Aura Sphere or something, he probably should have kept it because it could live Bisharp's attack and kill it, but I highly doubt he did. And that looked like Cheese's best play. So now he's free to go right into his Kyurem Black, and this is just going to get off an attack. Big damage with Outrage. That just destroys the Tornadus. He really didn't need Tornadus too much anymore. Now Riz can go into Amoonguss, as Outrage is going to kill Amoonguss too. So that just shows the pure strength of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
It has such a high attack stat, and Outrage just completely destroys it, so we're going to now see Scolipede come in, and this thing has speed boosts, so if it had protected there, it would have been able to outspeed the Kyurem the next turn and kill it, as well as Kyurem being confused, so his best interest was to switch out, and he goes into Talonflame with priority Brave Bird, ignoring Scolipede's speed boost, and can then kill it, as Scolipede is just going to go for a spike.
This is a play that I'm kind of questioning a little bit. I don't know what the spread is on Scolipede, so I don't know what moves Riz was running, but I do know that it gets access to, I believe, Rock Slide, and I think maybe Stone Edge too, but I think it definitely gets access to a Rock move. If he was going to predict the switch, or just, thought he could maybe outspeed the Kyurem, or maybe predicted Cheese to want to save it and to come out into something else, he did end up going for a spike, which means that he obviously didn't protect. He didn't feel the need to preserve his Scolipede if he did think it was going to end up taking a hit from the Kyurem. So at that point, if he wanted to risk going for a move rather than trying to get a sure speed boost, I don't know why he didn't go for a rock move, because it would have hit Talonflame, it would have hit the Kyurem both super effectively, it would have done good damage to the Sableye, so I'm thinking that he might not have had it. Again, I don't know the spread, but I definitely don't really get why he would go for the spike there.
If he had Mega Horn as his only attack, it would have done like 5% to Talonflame anyway, so I guess we can assume that he didn't have a Rock type move, because Rock would have also been super effective against Kyurem if he decided to stay in. And I highly doubt Sableye would have been Cheese's switch, as Sableye is the one Pokemon that can safely kill Bisharp now at this point, or at least cripple it with Will-O-Wisp, unless Bisharp like flinched it. So of course Rizzy's last Pokemon is Bisharp. As he goes into it, gets hit by all those hazards. It can safely kill the Talonflame, as we see the Talonflame had a sharp beak, which is interesting. And then Sableye can come in, click recover, and it's going to just be able to stall out the Bisharp. So it was a pretty good game. The Phoenix rivalry has just begun. And as Rizzy said, I guess we know who the superior Phoenix team is, in his own words.
That's true.
Own words, the Phoenix Sunflora. This stupid Sableye is just gonna sit here and be fat.
You messed it up. He said that the better Phoenix team was the Phoenix Sunkern. He is the Phoenix Sunflora. So good job, Dave.
He meant
he meant his own team, but he accidentally said the other team.
I mean, you can see how it's difficult. Sunflora, Kern, Sun.
Sun. Everything is sun.
Sun.
That's all they have in Arizona. Sun.
Exactly. So yeah, Cheese is going to come out with a 2-0 victory. I encourage you to watch both perspectives from each of the coaches. Go subscribe to Rizzy Pow and Cheeseboy628. And of course, subscribe to the MPL if you liked it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody.
See you guys.